Stephen Fenech from Tech Guide here, and you may have been wondering, I've had a few questions about my background, and in particular, these items. These are from a company called Grid Studios in China. These are actually, that's the iPhone 4S, and this is the iPhone 3GS, which have been turned into works of art. So the devices themselves have been taken apart and placed on a mat with labelled with all the different part names, and then placed in this brilliant frame and sold around the world. It's been Grid started selling these about just over a year ago, and they've been hugely popular around the world. And these are products that I purchased. They weren't sent to me. They weren't given to me. I bought them. I've got a few. I've got the iPhone 4S, the iPhone 3GS, which is right here. 4S, 3GS is here. But I also have the iPhone 5. And it's not just iPhones they do either. They also have, one of my others is the BlackBerry Bold, which I used for a fair bit. So a bit nostalgic I felt with that one. And as I think a lot of customers would feel, these devices that are quite old now, but they have good memories of using them in the past. And I think that's the reason why they're such appeal to people around the world. Not because of the quality. We're going to take a close look at a couple more. But the quality is fantastic. But I think it's that nostalgia, I think, that people really like. So they've got the iPhone. I think they've gone all the way up to the iPhone 10, I think is the latest one. So I think they are planning even more. But we are going to unbox one of the most sought after versions, and that is the original iPhone, the framed version of the first iPhone. We're going to take a look at that in a moment, but I just wanted to show you that they're packaged beautifully. They come in a box and they're wrapped in paper. We're going to unbox the iPhone 6. That's one of the newer models, and then we're going to unbox the original iPhone that Grid Studio has prepared. They also not only have iPhones, they've also got, I mentioned the BlackBerry Bold, they've also got the original iPod Touch. They also have the Game Boy Mini. They've also got the original PlayStation Portable as well. So check out their website, Grid Studios. They do have plenty of cool products. One of their most recent too is this, the Apple Watch, the original Apple Watch. When you consider how old this is, I think the first Apple Watch was 6 years ago. So this was brand new 6 years ago. It is now a work of art. Of course, the original iPhone, which we're going to see in a little while, that was released in 2007, but was only released in the US and the UK. So that original iPhone didn't make it to Australia, although a lot of people, myself included, did import a US model and hacked it so that it would work on the Australian networks. The first iPhone Australia had was the 3G, the iPhone 3GS, I think, was the very first one back in 2008. But yeah, there's Apple Watch. And we are going to look at iPhone 6 now. So they come in a box like this. So it comes all packaged up in a padded bag. And this is what's in the padded bag. So we're going to take a look at this. So look at this, how meticulous it's packed. Look, there's even a seal. Nice touch there. Some padding here as well to protect it. So let's take it out of the box. So this is the frame itself. I'll get rid of that box. But here is the frame. I'll try to do this as gently as possible. There we go. There's the seal has come out. See? Meticulous attention to detail there, and then we'll unwrap it. I'm trying to find the joint. There we go. there we have the iPhone 6. So, like those other versions you see here, so iPhone 4S, 3GS, this is the iPhone 6. Slightly bigger than the other ones, I think. Is it bigger? No, that's about the same size. But iPhone 6. So you've got here, if you take a closer look, I'll give you a closer look here. So you've got the back panel. There's the screen. That is the battery. And what is this here? That's the motherboard. There's also the SIM card tray, the camera module. It's all labelled as well. I'll bring it a bit closer so you can see it, but it's so meticulously done. There's even a plastic seal on the screen as well, just to give it some extra protection. So I'm not doing a very good job of this, but that's for added protection. I'll finish that off later, but what I really want to show you is the one. Naturally, you'd expect the original iPhone is the most sought after Grid Studio frame, and they released them. I think there's going to be 999 of them. They released them in batches of 100, and I did buy this. This wasn't given to me. I did buy this. I managed to get in and got one of the 100 offers in that release. So here it is here. Slightly squarer shape, I think. But we're gonna unbox him, take it out of the wrapping. So this is the original iPhone. Very, very hard to find this piece. So many people. I think it went on sale. I think it was midnight Australian time, and there were people that were ready to go. Within a minute, it was already sold out. And each of the models does have. They're all individually numbered. So I wonder what number I've got. But this is the. So it is pretty sealed pretty well in this padded bag here. I'm just trying to get it open there. Okay, we've finally got through to the box. There we go. So this is the original iPhone. And on the front here you see it says Apple reinvents the phone. Now this is a different shape. The others were rectangular. This is more square shape. But I'm going to... Whoa, okay, so this is different. So it's not... Do you remember the one we saw before had the little seal? This now has a diagram with all of the Apple products. I'll give you a close look at that. I'll actually pick it up so you can see it a bit more closely. So it's got... You see a diagram there of an old Mac, iPhone, see the iPhone here, Apple Watch, and Steve Jobs. It says the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. That was part of the Apple campaign years ago, that Steve Jobs actually voiced the ad. The ad, that what I just read out then, in the ad, that's Steve Jobs' voice that you hear. So here we go, here's the reveal. This is the original iPhone. Look at that. Wow, let me see if I can do a good job peeling this off. I'll have to get a blade to do a better job. And including here. It'll eventually all come out, but there it is there. There's some more plastic here. Let's get rid of that. But that's the original iPhone. And mine is number 680 of 999. So you see, amazing. It's amazing how small the original iPhone was. See, look how tiny that is. And there, so that's the back. Do you remember they had the two-tone rear panel and the 4-inch screen? I think it was. But let me give you a closer look. It's all labelled again. So you've got screen, and you've got the chassis. Here's the motherboard, the SIM card slot. Look how big the SIM card was back then. Wow. Finally got it. So that's Grid Studio. For those who are asking me, what are those things over your shoulder? I have had a lot of people asking me about them. Well, now you know. Grid Studio is the place to buy them from. They do have a website where you can order it. I'll give you one more look at this. But if you the website address is gridstudio.cc if you want to check them out. So that's the original iPhone. And I also showed you previously the iPhone 6. And of course, over my shoulder, you can see 4S, 3GS. But it is a really smart idea what they've done. And it's just done with such care, such precision. And you can see just the attention to detail, even in the packaging, is remarkable. In fact, there was something else in the packaging that I didn't open. There was a sealed envelope. Let's have a look here. This is what was in the packaging. I didn't open this. So what is this? Okay. Oh, here we go. So this is, oh, look at that, a photo of them putting it together. Okay. There's also, just some, on this card it says it's been more than 14 years since the original iPhone was released. And in order to pay tribute to the iPhone and its creator, Steve Jobs, we're giving you the chance to win a limited edition iPhone artwork. Please help support us by sharing our artwork with your friends and family, which is what I'm doing right now. So also included is this, it's like a timeline of the iPhone and how it was developed. I think it's more a history of Apple as well, but yeah, it's just so beautifully done. In fact, I'm recording this in early October. It's 10 years since the Apple co-founder and former CEO Steve Jobs passed away. So his legacy remains, as you can see. The original iPhone will absolutely go down in history as and will forever be associated with Steve Jobs. I still remember the day back in January 2007 when he went on stage and unveiled this original iPhone. You've probably seen it on YouTube yourselves, and I think he was saying that it's a music player, an internet communicator, and a phone. And he was implying that it was 3 products, but then he got around to say, no, we're not talking about 3 products. We're talking about 1 product, and it was the iPhone. And can you remember? I remember too, when he first demonstrated multi-touch, when he scrolled up the screen and all his contacts and everything was moving up the screen. But then the thing that drew gasps from the audience and from everyone watching was when he pinched to zoom on the photo. You might think, oh, big deal. Back then, that was massive. And now you probably take it for granted. You can do that, of course, on your photos, on your websites, whatever, or your apps. But back then, that was just incredible. It was like man landing on the moon. It's just a huge, huge day. And I can remember, actually, I was in Las Vegas for the Consumer Electronics Show. And the day of the event, because back then, Apple used to attend an event called Macworld. They were obviously the biggest attendee. And it used to be early January. And the timing of it was that I would go to CES, so Consumer Electronics Show in Vegas. Then I'd fly to San Francisco for Macworld, and I've been at Macworld when they've announced the iPod Mini, a MacBook Air. I've been to many of them, but this year in 2007, it was just an odd year where this Consumer Electronics Show and Macworld happened to overlap, and I had already committed to Vegas So a colleague of mine, I used to work for News Limited, for the newspapers at News Limited. A colleague from Melbourne attended Macworld while I was in Vegas. So I look back and regret that I wasn't actually there to see that in person. I was there, though, in person, when Steve Jobs unveiled the original iPad. So maybe Grid might do a video about a framed iPad, maybe the original iPad. So I was there for that. But back in 2007, the day of the unveil by Steve Jobs happened to coincide with Press Day at its Consumer Electronics Show. Now, Press Day is when all the companies hold their press conferences, talk about what's coming up, and what you can look forward to seeing at the show. So what happened was, when this announcement was made, nobody bothered to go to Press Day. I know I certainly didn't. I was writing about this. It was the talk of the Consumer Electronics Show, even though it was miles away back in San Francisco. So it just goes to show what a massive impact it had, and it changed smartphones forever. The smartphone you're using today was influenced by this. You might even have an iPhone. What are we up to now? iPhone 13. So you have the descendant of this original iPhone. But if you're lucky enough to you get in, keep an eye on the website, gridstudio.cc, to put your name down for the original. This is the very hard to get. I'm so happy that I've got mine. But there are plenty of supplies, though, of the iPhone 4, 5, the 3GS. I think they've got the 7, the 8. They're up to 10 now, and the Apple Watch, which I showed you earlier. So keep an eye out for that. But I just wanted to show you this, share a bit of a story about when it was launched. And also, I just really wanted to showcase just the quality of these creations, and also answer questions about what people were seeing over my shoulder. Thanks for watching. If you want to find out more, we've written it all up on techguide.com.au.